Hey everybody, welcome on in. It's another day of rest, another Sunday, another Lord's Day. Welcome to the channel. How are you doing? Pretty good? Pretty good, I hope. Hope everybody's doing fantastic. Doing great myself. Thinking about this rule change that's coming down the pipe. Gonna go live with the M21 update. If you're not aware yet, the Rules Committee announced during Channel Fireball's Command Fest online that commanders will be treated like tokens when they hit the graveyard or exile, meaning they will die these days. When they hit the graveyard, any death triggers will trigger. Then after that, instantly, you will decide whether to put it in the command zone or you will leave it in the graveyard. Same goes for exile, I assume, that whenever it hits exile, any triggers that would trigger from it going to exile, whatever those would be, I can't even think of any offhand, you would then choose to send it to the command zone or just let it stay in exile. I suppose that's fine. I feel like the old rule, which is now the old rule, felt fine, felt intuitive, felt normal as a replacement effect. Just like the flash ban, I don't agree with it, fundamentally. But each to his own. I understand why they do it, I just don't agree with it. I mean, I know other people find that there were people posting on Twitter or on Facebook that, thought that worked this way anyway. Fair enough, fair enough. We're all wired different, some are wired the same. I just don't think that it works. To me, it's just not intuitive. I think the replacement effect is clean, clear, and not every card needs to work in every format. It's just different in a way that I don't think. It just seems like the flash ban, there was a vocal minority changing it, wanting it changed, and the Rules Committee just decided to change it for them. And I feel like this is much more impactful of the entire format than the flash ban, for instance, because there are a handful of commanders. The outright example is Child of Alar. Child of Alar just, I feel like that card alone is just going to just explode across the scene because the death trigger. That was always what kept Child of Alar in check, was that you don't get the death trigger, so you had to build around that. It was a building restriction that was made for more interesting decks. I think now we'll see a lot more less interesting decks. Kakusho gets better. Alinda the Duskrose gets oh my god better. So vampire tokens will be a thing. Granted, Edgar will always be a better vampire commander than Alinda the Duskrose. Granted, I use Alinda the Duskrose in my most favorite deck, Teysa, but almost never get that trigger to go. And now, because I mean, it was said during games that I played when Alinda came out, Alinda would be a lot better if you could get that death trigger. Yeah, I suppose so, but you know, not every card needs to work in every format, but I guess they do. That's fine, I guess. I understand, like I said, I understand why they did it. I'm just not a fan of it. Just not a fan. The replacement effect it worked just fine for me. Wasn't hard to understand, wasn't difficult to grasp, but you know, it is what it is. And it just seems like they did it to appease a small section, and that's fine. I mean, it's not gonna twist the format, I suppose, so rude messaging while I'm doing this, that's fine. But it's fine. It's not going to warp the format around it, but I would have rather not had this happen. But you know, I guess that's why I'm not on the Rules Committee. But to take my mind off of that, M21 previews have started. Necrominsha seems like a good way to wreck an opponent's combo. Especially people that you play with repeatedly. You know they have that combo piece in there. You play this 2 black and 1 black spell, you search it out and you exile it, and they get a 2/2 zombie for it. Freaking sweet. Primal Fight, a green card at sorcery speed, I believe, makes one of your creatures really, really big. Seems exactly what green wants to do. Chromatic Ori, just a solid card in any big mana deck, especially any deck that has Keenan or what's the tree? The one that came out when Theros, the enchantment tree that everybody loves to hate. Y'all know what I'm talking about. I'll put up a picture in the old feed, in the old YouTube. Big mana deck's just gonna love that card. Then we have the new Dog Cat, Ren and Siri. I have a feeling that commander is gonna be built a lot. Not that it'll win games, unless it's much more heavily cat than dog, because the Hound. Oh yeah. Hey, by the way, WotC is going to reassign to errata a bunch of hounds to become dogs. Hound will no longer be a thing. They also errated all fish to sharks, I believe. I think only one card is going to remain a fish, and all because it was the one that goes from fish to a worm to a fish or something, or I don't remember. One card, I think it's one card's going to remain a fish, and all the rest are going to be errata to shark. All hounds will be errata to dog, but wolves will stay wolves. Funny how that works. New Teferi is going to be busted in Commander because you can activate it once each turn. Once each turn at instant speed, which is crazy. So in the matter of 2 turns, you're going to be in that ult to take 2 extra turns. That's just crazy. So every Super Friends deck that has blue is going to get that one. That's going to be, and there's like 46 something different printings. I saw that on Twitter yesterday, whatever. It's like, oh my god. It's a bunch of different alternate arts, and not a lot of differences between some of them. It's just like slight color shift or something. Not a lot. But another Teferi card that they're going to be making is Teferi's Tutelage. So every time you draw a card, target player or each opponent, it'll be up on the screen, has to put 2 cards from their library into their graveyard. The other significant change here is that mill is officially a keyword. Officially, in the realm of Magic, after 20 some odd years, mill is a keyword. Crazy. They said, I saw on Twitter that they looked for another word that accurately described the action of milling, and they never found one. So milling it is. Milling is a keyword. Lots of good reprints coming, as well as new cards in this probably best core set ever. It's especially the best, in my opinion, at the time of announcement for freaking reprint value. I mean, they're using a lot of equity here. I'm very surprised, as a matter of fact. They're reprinting Azusa, Lost But Seeking, $30-something card. Ugin, the Spirit Dragon, $60-something card. And Grim Tutor, $200 card on the secondary market, of course. I do believe that this is going to be the most expensive via the secondary market if you were to purchase all the cards in their additional other printings. Core sets. Core 20 was really good, but it looks like Core 21 is just going to be that much better. These are cards that I would love to use in Commander games, for sure. The only place I have an Ugin Spirit Dragon would be in my Atraxa Super Friends deck. I have no Grim Tutor and have wanted one for a very, very long time. The original printing will always, of course, hold a special value. The original printings always do. Just look at the alpha and betas, even the unlimiteds. Even though the betas and unlimiteds are not the original printings, they still hold significant values over recent printings. All you have to do is look at Birds of Paradise for a great example of this, where you can have new cards that are cheap and old cards that are expensive, which is why the reserve list doesn't make much sense to me. I mean, those cards would still be really expensive cards if you didn't have a reserve list, because they're the original printings. They're the old printings. Those are the printings that people played with 20 some odd years ago. They're going to want those for nostalgic reasons. But what do I know? I only played back then, and I only want those cards because I played with them back then. Crazy. But, like I said, let's not get into that reserve list thing. So, Channel Fireball held a online command fest where we played via webcam, which you're watching me shuffle these cards right now as I talk about the thoughts in my brain. I streamed on my Twitch channel, which you can find in the link below, for nearly 6 hours. A few breaks, of course. That will be uploaded to this channel on Wednesday, but you can currently find it now, unedited, on my Twitch channel. Warn you, there are some breaks. A little bit of dead time. I think I played 6 games. I think the fastest of those was against a Keenan deck that had a fantastic starting hand. I was out, of these games, I was out most of the time first or second, because I had really good starts and not enough protection, which is fine. And I wasn't being political enough, to be honest. It's a lot easier to be political in person, but, you know, I played against people like Kyle Hill, formerly of Because Science, who now has his own channel, which will be linked below. And I played against, I think second to last game was against Alex Kessler, who is one of the hosts of the Masters of Modern podcasts. You'll find a link to their YouTube channel in the description below, as well as a link to Channel Fireball's Command Fest online. I do hope they'll be doing these things more often. One thing that was really nice was that there was an automatic, the CFO bot, when they have their level set up, like level 1 through 10, and you hit exclamation point play would be the bot command, and you would put in the level that you wanted to play at. And they had it set up where you could automatically queue, and they would put you in, they would automatically create the spell table room, and man, this thing was just so awesome. The CFO bot would PM you with the room, and it would automatically put 4 people together. You didn't have to post or anything looking for 3 or 2 or 1 or whatever. It would just automatically put you in a room. Play EDH Discord needs that. That would just be amazing. You just queue up, you know, hit your bot command, exclamation point, mid, what if you were, and just put you in the queue. Just bam. They can. I don't even care if they went with the with Channel Fireball's levels of play. Personally, I'd rather than just leave it mid, high, battle cruiser and whatnot, because that I feel like that definitely is a better. If you have 4 to 5 ways to cut where lines are for your deck levels, I feel like that's much more conducive to finding games. Because I know there's no way that they found enough in 7 or 8, and I found out later, as you'll hear in the stream, that they were 7, 8s, 6s, maybe a 9. They would throw all together, just depending on how many people were there, how many people were queuing up, and etc. I really feel like the guys that run the Play EDH Discord need to get that in there. That would be freaking awesome. I would really enjoy that in the Play EDH Discord. So, all right. Well, it's already been 15 minutes. That was a quick. Felt quick. Whew. I'm gonna have to drink a little bit more coffee now. I don't know if you noticed, but I may sound a little bit different. I upgraded to a Blue Yeti microphone. Before I was using a Zoom H1N audio recorder that I was stereo that I was using as my microphone. It worked fine, but it was not an accurate representation of my voice. I feel that the Blue Yeti does a much better job of accurately representing my voice. I like it. I like it a lot. And I'm not disappointed, especially because I got a deal off of eBay. It was a Yeti caster bundle that somebody had broken apart, and they were selling the Blue Yeti as is without the stand for $80 shipped. I was just like, yes I will. So, I hope you enjoy the I think it's improved sound quality. And that's all for today. Goodbye.